Hi guys. I don't know if you've heard a lot about it, but the big thing now is that you can use PETG and TPU together, where you can use either of them as support for the other. Now, this video I will talk about my best overhang print ever, and that is on this model. You can see here I'm using Orca Slicer. Without supports, if I slice this, let me see, I'm just going to show you. Sorry, I had to get something. I can show you this. This is the same part. Let me see if I can get it into camera and in focus. You can tell that the ridge here is not printed well. Let me see if I can take a photo and bring into the view. Sorry, I had to pause the recording a bit. Without the supports, you can see that these two blue lines here indicate an area that has an overhang that's too bad to too steep to be printed. Now I don't want to use overhang compensation. Let me see if I can move my image away a bit. I can move it up to here maybe. I don't want to use overhang compensations like here, because like if I change this to 60 I could print that easily, but it goes for the whole model, which means that the threads inside will also be affected in the overhang. So I don't want to change that. But when I try to print this without support, my problem has been that the edge is never perfect. And in this case here that I'm going to show you here, you can tell that it's not perfect. Now, in addition here, I had turned off cooling on the PETG for the first 50 layers. And that is not good, because you need the PETG to stiffen, but not so fast that it loses adhesion to the bed. So what I did in my next print that I will show you, I set the I think I removed the, let me see, what did I set for the PETG? It's just the first layer that's not being cooled, and after that it cools it. Then the PETG will stiffen and not disform in that way. So that's one of the points. Don't leave the layers off for too much. Maybe you can go up to 10 or 20 layers before you put on the fan, and it will help with the adhesion to the surface, but don't leave it too long because it will disform. So what you end up is something like that. Now I have done some other prints that I can show you on a picture. It's better. I'll pause here for a second. As I said, I've done some other test prints, and this one I can talk a bit about. In this case here, I printed without support, no brim, and you can tell that the edge around is a little bit too steep for the print to go perfectly. In this case, on the print here, you can tell that there is an edge here, and you can see that here the corner is more round, and here is this, because I changed the angle that the edge should print at. So the angle looks better here, but there's like a sharp edge here because there is the use of a brim, and I think I also used a raft layer here to create better adhesion. But what the big hype on the internet now when it comes to 3D printing is using PLA. One of the ways is using PLA to support PETG. Instead of using PLA support, you use PLA to support prints for PETG. And the main reason for that is, as far as I understood it, is the cooling. PLA only require maybe up to 100 220 degrees to print, and PETG requires about 100, maybe 250 or something like that to print. And because of this temperature difference, the adhesion of those two is not so good, which makes sure that the PLA cools down and creates a good surface for the PETG to sort of rest on when it's printing. Sorry, had to pause again. Get some more pictures. So the picture here is where you have the brim, and here is without support at all. Now I settled for this model here because I like the round edges, but I didn't like the way that it always required supports, and I didn't want to use compensation for the overhang because it would affect the whole model. So the big craze online, as I said, is using PLA to support PETG when you print. And let me see if I can bring in the other picture. This is basically how it's done. You can see here that in this case I just assigned PLA to support the few layers at the bottom, and I use AMS so that it prints okay. And because there's a difference in temperature, the PETG will not sort of really hardly adhere to the PLA. And I can tell you this is the best overhang print I've ever done, and I'm going to show you how that thing looks like. This is the print result when I'm using PETG and PLA together. Literally as perfect of a print as you can do. I didn't use any kind of support here like brim or raft or anything, and I only set those layers here that you can see on the edge to use the support. And that's something you can do inside here by going to the prepare, and you can paint the support structure yourself. So in this case, if you set this pen size and you use the fill and you set the pen size to, I think I selected 5, then you can see you can select small areas at a time. So like here you can select this, and then you can select this, 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 and this. It makes for a really good selection of paint areas. And the end result of my painting was, as you can see there. So when you have the support on like this, and you set your support PLA, your support interface to be PLA, what you get is when you slice, let me see, it looks like this, and it will only go for those few layers. I'll bring it down and you can see for yourself. So this is the first layer, second layer, third layer. You can notice in the areas here that it is kind of nice and snug when it prints, and it just keeps going out one at a time. And then it just starts going upwards. And for me, that is how it should perfectly look like. And how does this look like when it's actually printed? Well, I can show you that as well. I have pictures of that. So basically this is the result of the print, and this is the support of the print. You can really see that it actually works perfectly well as a support. When I broke this off, there was not a single residue of PLA left on the edges here. It was just so smooth. It looked like on the drawing of the slicer. You can tell here that the PLA has broken off nicely, and the print is just great.